Hello, my name's Ian Fennell. I'm a solution architect with Matillion. Today I'm going to be demonstrating how to use the Mercurial version control system with Matillion ETL for Redshift. Let's get started. Starting off in my instance of Matillion ETL for Redshift here. Now, Matillion uses JSON files as the metadata exchange format so that when you save and restore your work to and from Matillion, it's in the form of JSON files. So I'll open an example job to use for demonstration. And there's two different ways that you can put this metadata for this job into source code control. First of all, using the web UI, and that's the export and import menu options here. And secondly, using Matillion's REST API. And in this video, I'll be concentrating on those two logical backup methods and how you use them to interface with source code control. We're not looking in this video at the physical backup method from the Manage Backups menu option here. So to save this as JSON, there's two ways I can do that. I can first of all right-click on the job name and choose Export, and it's gone through all of the jobs and it's ticked that one that I've right-clicked on. Or if I want to choose more than one job, maybe I've been working on more than one thing today, I can tick all of the ones which I've been working on, for example, and choose a file name, and I can save the file like this, and it will download that and save it onto my local PC. In order to use Matillion's REST API to take a logical backup, I first need a user with API privilege. And I can check that by going to the user configuration screen. And the one I'm going to use is this API user, which does have a tick in the API box here. To use the REST API, I've gone out to the operating system shell and I'm going to issue a curl command. And curl is just a convenient way to interface with the REST API. The arguments on here are the generated file name, the option to turn off warnings about SSL certificates. There's a -x get because this is at heart an HTTP GET operation. There's my username and secret password, and I need the -h option, which is an HTTP header. The IP address of my Matillion instance is here, and the REST endpoint, and we're going to be using the project's endpoint here. You then need to add your group name, project name, and the name of the version that you want to export. And running this command, it will go off, and it's downloaded about a megabyte of metadata there as JSON. So let's have a look at the files which we've been creating in this directory. First of all, we have the small selective backup, which we took from the UI. That's selected jobs.json. It's about 60K. And much bigger, because it included everything, was the full backup.json. So in order to push these files and save them into my Mercurial repository, I'll need to first of all just check that I've set it up correctly. And I'll do a status to check the status of the files. They've not been checked in yet. So I'll add the selected jobs first of all, and the full backup.json. I can now do a Mercurial commit with my comment in there, of course. And we'll do a log just to make sure that that's being committed successfully, which is looking good. So switching roles then, to reverse this, if I now want sometime later to get these files back out from Mercurial, back down to my local file system, I would just need to do the reverse of these commands, which would just get the latest version out of Mercurial and bring that down into my file system. Going back to the web interface, now that we've seen how to get Matillion's JSON files in and out of source code control, if I was to accidentally delete these two jobs, or if I was trying to import the jobs back into a new instance of Matillion, then the thing I would need to do is go to the import menu this time, browse for that file, which was called selectedjobs.json, and just tick the jobs that I want to import. And they're safely back in the Matillion instance now. Very much the same story with the file that we took using the REST API before. Having retrieved that back from source code control, we can then use another curl command to restore it into Matillion. So this command's very similar to the previous one. The difference is that we are just using an HTTP post this time because we're going to push the metadata back into Matillion. The endpoint is just projects on its own, and the content of the post message is going to be that full backup file that we created before. So I'm going to run that, and it actually has failed this time because the project called demo already exists. So just in order to be able to demonstrate this, I'm going to go back into my original project here and just rename that as to demo old. So having renamed the project, hopefully this time when I run that curl command, it should successfully import the data from its JSON representation and recreate that complete project again. Hope you found that a useful demonstration of using Mercurial version control with Matillion ETL for Redshift. For more information, please go to matillion.com, or you can start a free 14-day trial at any time from the AWS Marketplace.